In this video, I'm going to go ahead and share with you a handful of amazing hidden features and some cool tips and tricks that the amazing Apple TV can do, because a lot of people are missing these. Starting off with the wacky one, and that is whenever you go over one of these icons, by lightly tapping the centerpiece, these icons actually have unique animations, as you see right here. The gear icons moving around. My most favorite one is probably the arcade, as you can actually move the joystick. It's kind of funny. And then, no, not every app has this effect because it's just a normal badge with the default third parties. It's mainly the native ones from Apple. Another unique one probably is the photo one. As you can see, it looks like a little overlap gloss because it's glass effect. That's pretty cool. Another one of my favorite features about the Apple TV is, let's say for example, you and your significant others are watching a movie at the same time, but you also want to watch like a YouTube video on the side. So whatever you're watching, like on your iPhone as an example, and to show you exactly what I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and resume something I was watching, like Spider-Man as an example. Allow it to load. And now we got Spider-Man playing, right? So now I'm gonna take out my iPhone and we're gonna go ahead and select a random YouTube video that I see right here. Soup. Let's just watch Soup real quick. Let me lower his volume. All right. And then by tapping the cast icon on top right here, we're gonna go ahead and select AirPlay and make sure we select the correct one. So this is the living room TV. Hit replace. It's gonna swap it right there on your Apple TV, but then just let it load. And then what you need to do is select the picture-in-picture box. And now just hit play on the movie that you're watching, and there you are watching two things at once. And if you go back on your iPhone, you do have media control because you can pause and play the video right then and there and resume that YouTube video. And if you're not familiar with picture-in-picture, by tapping the TV icon, this will quickly take you to the picture-in-picture settings. So you can close it entirely, or you can move it on each corner like this if it's in the way. Again, this works on iPhones and iPads. And then you just close it all entirely. Picture-in-picture can also be found on some third-party apps as well as first-party, like this one from Disney Plus, I believe I'm watching it from. I have no idea. But if you could go to the very right corner, bottom right, like right here, you could also make the current video you're watching in picture-in-picture mode. Ideal if you're watching like football as well. So you can watch a movie for the kids and your favorite sports playoff right there on the screen. Multitasking. But now let's go back to that Spider-Man movie because I missed something. So let's go ahead and close that. And I missed what they said. So you could say he or she, so I could say something like, what did he say? And Siri is gonna go back to 15 seconds of that clip and will enable subtitles, captions basically. And once it's past that certain point where you ask it to go back, it'll re-enable it. So right now, captions are not available because I just realized we're watching a trailer. But a real example would be this. What did he say? And there you go, captions are on, and past the 15-second mark, captions will be automatically disabled again, if that's how you left it. But let's say you want captions to be turned on, and you know, every subscription service is kind of confusing to find your captions. If you can't find it, you can always just request Siri to turn on captions as well. You can also allow Siri to locate your misplaced Apple devices. So long as you're in the same account, you can request Siri using the Apple TV remote to locate your iPhone, Apple Watch, and etc. And if you like to skip forward or go back, you can always just request Siri, go back 30 minutes, and bam. So quickly skip through films or TV shows just like that. So these newer Apple TV remotes, the one with the USB-C, we are already familiar with the Find My ability, right? Well, it's compatible on most modern day Apple TVs, so if you like to upgrade, you can just buy this remote separately. And if you do have the remote, I covered this in the past, but I'm gonna go over it real quickly. By launching Control Center, you should be able to find your Apple TV remote control. If you don't see this on here, you just need to go into your settings and go in Control Center and add it. But once you add it, select it. Here you have full remote control ability so long as you select the correct Apple TV. As you can control everything from iPhone as well as the Apple Watch has a remote app as well. But if you misplace your remote, let's say, by tapping here and selecting that Apple TV remote, you can hit the find icon and then it'll bring you to this screen, which allows you to basically locate your phone via haptic feedback from your iPhone. It's like a hot and cold situation. So the closer you get, the more responsive your phone will get, allowing you to find it. But the only drawback to this is there's no built-in speaker on your Apple TV remote. I've misplaced it somewhere in the couch before, and since it wasn't playing any sound, I had a hard time finding it. That is why it is recommended. Next tip is to invest in AirTags as well as a little silicone sleeve for the Apple TV remote. I forgot to bring mine upstairs, but I'll have one in the description down below. But these are a massive lifesaver because the AirTag actually does play sound. So if you have a habit of missing your remote, that's probably a better combination. This way you don't have to buy a new Apple TV remote and upgrade. So VPNs have been available on Apple TV ever since the release of Apple TV OS 17. And now if you go onto the Apple App Store, you'll be able to find a lot of your favorite VPN providers like Surfshark as well as NordVPN. So if you are an existing subscriber to one of these providers, you can now easily log in and you can change your Apple TV region to other places around the world. And the benefit to this is if you're using popular streaming services like Netflix, I find that some of the shows are not available here in the States or even movies. But in South Korea, I had good luck on finding like John Wick, the complete series, where over here I would just had to rent. But since I'm already a subscriber and I have a VPN access, I was able to spoof my location and watch John Wick without having to rent any of the films, since over there it's already available on streaming platforms like Netflix. So definitely do utilize VPNs if you can. So the volume control on the Apple TV, it's really straightforward, up and down. You could do the exact same thing with your Apple TV on your iPhone. The volume knobs, so long as you launch it, you can actually control the audio from the television from your iPhone. And if it's not working for you, you could just press the back and go back into your Apple TV settings. Sorry, I forgot to add this in the video. My camera kind of cut out, so I've totally missed this. And just go into remote and devices. Select this, and then you want to go ahead and scroll down till you find control TV and receivers. And then where it says volume control, depending on TV you have, but I just like to leave it on auto, let the Apple TV figure it out. But if you know what it is, just select it. But auto is my best result. And that's how you can make sure you have that ability to always adjust the audio on the Apple TV remote, as well as the remote app on your phone. But if whatever said reason your remote just isn't responding, which is a common bug that usually happens, you need to reset the remote. It's super easy to do so. Just long hold on the TV icon right here and volume down for 5 seconds. And then this should resolve any volume bugs that your controller is experiencing. And then one of the beauties about the Apple TV is its small size factor. It's super small and portable to the point where it just needs 2 things, power and HDMI. And if you have an unlimited data plan on your smartphone, you can actually use this as a hotspot and take to your hotel and have a much more secure experience, because all your existing login information from your platforms that you like streaming from are already saved on your Apple TV. So I highly recommend, if you can, travel with the Apple TV and just use your mobile hotspot to connect your Apple TV with Wi-Fi in a private, secure network. And you can also continue utilizing AirPlay in case you're doing remote work on your laptop. You could use your hotel's television as a secondary monitor. So FaceTime continuity is where you are now able to FaceTime from your Apple TV. And the beauty about this, wirelessly you can connect either your own devices. If you select your own profile, a little window will pop up on your devices letting you know if you like to use this device as your camera. But if you have somebody else in your household with you, they can always just scan this QR code. So long as it's an Apple product, they'll be able to connect to your Apple TV and be used for FaceTime calling as well. But once you select your camera of choice, there's a few unique gesture controls you definitely need to know to really spice things up whenever you're FaceTiming somebody using your Apple TV. As an example, creating a heart sign with your hand will create these cool heart animations. A thumbs up will do a thumbs up emoji. 2 thumbs up will do this. A single thumbs up will do this thumbs down emoji. And then 2 thumbs down will do basically boohoo sad cloud, rainy day type of thing. A peace sign or victory will do balloons. And then 2 peace signs / victory will do this, confetti. And then if you do heavy metal rock on to the front facing camera, you'll get an epic laser show. Those are some cool fun ones you could do to spice up the conversation with families and friends. So dimming down the display when you're watching a movie, but your significant other or your partner's already going to bed, you don't really want to distract them with a bright illuminating room. There's a cool little shortcut on the Apple TV remote where I'm able to, let me show you right now, triple tap the back button 3 times. This will allow me to quickly enable light sensitivity, which will dim down the brightness of my TV. And if you like to make it even dimmer, you can also adjust the dim brightness on the main TV and then even more, increase it even more with the Apple TV. So you can really eliminate as much brightness as much as possible so you can allow your partner to sleep comfortably. And you like to do the same thing on your Apple TV, it's really easy. Quickly go into your Apple TV settings. Long hold again will take you back to your main menu, of course. But by going in here and going into accessibility, and you scroll all the way down to display, and then scroll down to where you find light sensitivity. Here's where you can not only go ahead and enable this, but this is where you go in to adjust setting the percentage to your own personal preference. The lowest is 25, unfortunately. But by simply doing that, if you go back and go back into the accessibility tab and scroll down to find an accessibility shortcut, here's where you get enabled captions to also go on automatically, or light sensitivity. By selecting one, it'll do it automatically by default, but by selecting 2, you'll get this screen popping up. So you can quickly have access to what you like to enable immediately and what you don't. So now whenever I'm watching, typically when I'm watching a movie, since I enabled captions to be a part of that list, so if I resume this and triple tap and enter closed captions, captions will go on. You can also find these 2 settings real quick. By long holding on the TV icon on your Apple TV, it'll take you to your control center, and you can scroll down to find the little circle icon with the person in the middle. You can also find your settings right here to turn on or turn off. And if you go into settings, you can enable more stuff if you like to add like switch control as an example, which you don't need to do that because double tapping the home TV icon on your controller will allow you to do that. You can also close apps by swiping up, of course. So if you have little ones in your household and you're not taking advantage of Apple's parental control, you definitely need to, because there's some amazing settings right here. If you don't know, by going into your Apple TV settings right here, and you go into general, and then you scroll into restrictions, here's where you go ahead and turn it on. It is going to request for you to create a generic password. Well, don't make it generic. I'm making it generic for the purpose of this video. It even tells me how easy it is for someone to guess this. But if you have multiple profiles on your Apple TV, you'll find them right here. And you can enable the ones you want to have full access to or block entirely. So since I only have myself on this Apple TV, my household decided just to rely on my account, which I'm okay with. But by hitting allowed, this will allow me, the person signed into this Apple TV, to also use Face ID or Touch ID to bypass the PIN code access. So by going down, if you notice rental purchases, you can restrict, or you could block in-app purchases as well. And then in terms of rating for music, TV shows, or apps even, you could add restrictions right here. So movies, you got your PG-13 rating, or you could just not allow movies in general. So by going back and after you edit all those, and we go back to some of these apps that I know I blocked, like YouTube, I could use a little pop-up window will pop up on my iPhone right here, allowing me to use Face ID to unlock it and approve. Again, this is all due to the fact that we actually allowed it on the general setting. So if you like to have full lockability restriction orders on your Apple TV, that's what you need to do. But I also highly recommend just perusing around here in this setting. It's really straightforward and easy to use. So music sharing was something that was available on the Apple TV, but Apple decided to remove on Apple TV 17.4, unfortunately. And even on 17.5, this is still not available. But hopefully by the time you're watching this video, music sharing is available, where it's only available on the Apple TV Music app, unfortunately, so you have to be subscribed to Apple Music. But just like CarPlay, there will be a little icon right here, AirPlay share icon, which allows others who are in the same Wi-Fi network with your Apple TV to scan that QR code and have access to the up next tracks where they could become the DJ. So I'm looking forward to when Apple re-release this. They just pulled this out, no explanation why they removed it, but hopefully by the time you're watching this video it's back and that's how you utilize it. And there we have it, folks. Those are the best hidden features and some cool additional tips and tricks that the Apple TV can do. If you'd like to understand more things that the Apple TV can do, like understand what these buttons can do, like all the cool shortcuts, I highly recommend checking out this video over there where I cover everything. It's basically the part 2 to this video. Thank you so much for watching.